becomes the same for them, in which they say, I'm going to develop a product and also launch it on Kickstarter. It's just like, it's a continuity. So that was just like a series of projects that I thought I could share with you guys. And they all have something in common in that every one of them is a story. We all read books, we read comics, we talk to each other, we tell each other what happened yesterday. And every time that we do that, we're telling each other a story. Every one of these Kickstarter projects is a story too. It's usually a story of, I had an idea, and I told somebody else, and they said, that's a good idea. And then I drew something on a piece of paper, and I got more excited about it, and then I used the laser cutter to make a model, or even before the laser cutter, I took some construction paper or built something with Legos, and I started to like see what it was like. And by the end of it, you're showing somebody a finished product or a finished idea, and it's not just the thing, it's not just something in a store, it's the full story of how you went from A to B to C.
Excuse me?
Yes?
Does every project have to be a story?
Every project is a story.
I mean, like, do I have to show my personal story, like show up the...
You don't have to do anything. But this is interesting because there's usually a point of comfort where somebody says, I don't want to be in the video, or I get that. And that's fine. But if you're not going to be in the video, find a different way to tell that story. Find a different way to engage with people and to make it personal. Does that make sense? So with Makey, Jay is in the video, but you can't tell that he's in the video because he doesn't show his head. But it doesn't matter because it's really fun. And he's focusing on making it personal just because the video is shitty and it's him doing it. There's different ways to do this. This is actually something that's important in that if I tell you that there's a really good way to do something, that doesn't mean it's the only way to do it. You can literally take everything I say and throw it out the window, because if you have a better way of doing it, that's fine. It's the principle that matters. So when I say that everything is a story, what I really mean is that if you walk into a store and you buy this bottle, it's just a bottle. You don't have a connection to it. You drink the water, you're done, you throw it out. That's not what you're making. You're making something completely different. You're making something that people help you create. And if they're going to do that, they're going to need to know more about it. Why does it have these ridges? Why does it have this shape? Sometimes it's the design story, not your personal story. So by the end of it, when somebody knows all these things and they really understand why something is the way that it is, they don't want to throw it away. And a lot of what we're doing here is making the things in our lives have meaning. That's probably the most important thing that we're doing when we do these things. So when I say story, what I mean is make it have meaning, make it have weight. Another way to think of the Kickstarter campaign is that the project video is the invitation, come on in. The rewards it's the access, it's the opportunity to be a part of it. It's a way of saying, if you back this project, I'm going to give you something that allows you to be a part of my world. And during the campaign, you can release project updates. It's like a blog. It continues to tell like little parts of like why you're doing things the way that you're doing them. The project video, if you go on our site, you could probably watch 20 videos in 10 minutes. And you'll see all sorts of different kinds. We've learned a bunch of things. We've learned many things about videos over the last few years. They should be personal. And again, personal doesn't mean that you have to be in it. But this is important. Personal means that you care about it. That's what it means. It should be short, and it should be shareable. It should be something that, after I'm done watching it, I can think of like 3 people that I should send this to. They should watch it too. The rewards. If you're doing something in our field of tech and design, the most obvious one is of course going to be the thing itself. So like the watch or the toy or the wearable or the camera, This is usually the core reward. But there's other things that you can do too. You can do experiences, like a 10-minute phone call in which you talk about something that you both care about. One of my favorites is the part of the original prototype. So if you did 20 prototypes on the way to the final product, like a small machined part from the second prototype, that's the one that I usually back for. I have like a collection of little machined items on my desk, and I can tell you what prototype they're from. Overall, across the site, $25 is the most common pledge. People usually have 5 to 7 reward tiers. It gets confusing after that. And $76 is the average pledge. For tech and design, it's actually closer to 100, meaning that most of the money that a project makes is from a reward that's about $100. I'm going to skip this one because it's very specific. I'm going to skip this one too. These are these are some of the like different ways of communicating with your backers. Like this is the reward. That's like a message that somebody sent to one of their backers, and that's like a tweet that was like the result of this transaction. With the project updates, like, again, think of it as like a small blog that lives inside of your project throughout the campaign. There's different ways to use them. You can thank your backers. You can update them with new rewards by saying, we added something new, or telling them where you might be. So if you're going to be at like Maker Faire and you have a live project, you send out an update that says, I'm going to be at Maker Faire, come and say hi. I'm going to be at another event, come over and hang out with me. And new rewards too. If you add like a new reward, you send out an update. Basically, every time that there's something meaningful, that there's something that you want to share with your backers, you push out you send an update to them. And your backers are human beings. They are not a crowd, they're a community of people. I like to think of backers as extended family. Not immediate family, extended family. So they're like cousins. They're people that you have like a very strong connection to, and you want to be able to talk to them and feel comfortable with them on a regular basis. We have a part of our website that is always growing because we're always creating new things in it that can really teach you a lot about how to run a project, a lot more details than what I have to say. We have a very large communities team with people that specialize in food, in publishing, and a lot of our knowledge from talking to different teams goes into our creator handbook. So I very much encourage you to visit our website and kind of just like take a look at like all the different things that you might find there. And that's my email address. But there's a very good chance that I will not reply because I travel a lot. And usually I have a thing that says I'm traveling. But the technology email address is probably better. That's it. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for listening. You guys were amazing. Thank you.
Then we have the PPT. Can you send us the PPT to the...
I actually usually don't send it around. I don't know why, but like I've had this conversation with my team, and we've all decided that we're not. I'm sorry. Was there like a specific slide that you wanted?
Okay. I just took a lot of photos, but I think it's better to keep the PowerPoint.
Most of this stuff is in the creator handbook.
But that's okay. That's okay. I can accept that.
I think we don't send it around because a lot of the data gets old very fast, and we don't want old data to be circulating as like our presentations. Do you know what I mean? I think that's fine. But most of that information is in the creator handbook. Okay.
I wonder if there's any known case that a project got copycat by someone else.
Sure.
So that
Tell me more. What do you really want to know?
Oh, yeah, I just wanted the risk, like review your project into very, very detailed information to the public. Because we, I guess like 90% of the campaign participant was the small team, and I guess I wonder if there's enough like small company or like middle-sized company that keep their eyes on the Kickstarter.
Oh yes, yes. So if I want to make sure that I understand the question, you're asking me if there's a lot of attention on Kickstarter from larger companies taking ideas from smaller companies.
Yes, that's what I wanted to know, and I want to make my story very personal. I want to convince the audience that I spend a lot of time and I want to show this idea, how the idea evolved, and even every detail that to convince the audience that I will make a perfect product. But if I tell them too much, I want to.
You have a good project, Andy. You care a lot about it. We get a lot of attention. So yes, there's definitely a lot of people in the world, a lot of media, a lot of other companies paying attention to trends and paying attention to what's interesting on our site. I can tell you that large companies don't know how to do cool things. I'm serious, they really don't. Like, it's amazing. You see them try, and even when they're trying to copy something, they usually fall over themselves. And there's a lot of different reasons for that, and a lot of books have been written about this topic. So my advice to you is to work quickly, and when you launch a campaign, make sure that you have a very good understanding of when you're able to deliver, and treat your community really well, because that community will support you with the next project as well. And the concept of branding is really what protects you in this case, because you can copy the technical characteristics of a product,